Well, let's go to Rod Caddies. Now, he's a One Nation MP, and he actually spoke at the rally yesterday, and he's with me now. Rod, good morning, and thank you for talking to me.
No problem. Thanks, Nadia.
Did you help organise this rally?
No, not. I wouldn't say I helped organise it. I stepped in at the last minute to start to give them some guidance because, as was reported, it was all this reporting about an organisation who was organising it, but it was just a couple of people put up their hand to help out and make it happen. So the people had never even done anything like it before. So yeah.
Okay, and you spoke, obviously. So had they asked you to speak, or did you put your hand up offering to speak?
I was actually speaking to them. To be a good representative, you need to listen to people and find out and understand who is behind it, what's going on, to even show up. So I was actually just doing my investigations into, to make sure to follow up with media, all that, how they were making claims. So I spoke to the people, and once I got speaking to them, I went, well, these people aren't pushing for what is being put out there by other members of Parliament and media. This was just a couple of people wanting to assist in helping it go ahead. So that's how I come about speaking to them and then speaking at the event.
Okay, and so for those, the people who are organising, what did they tell you about what this rally was about?
Oh, they were clear that their intentions, it was about mass immigration and bad decisions of government, which have led to people feeling not heard and, the homeless on our streets, people not being able to afford housing, all the things that I agreed with. So that's what they told me. And I said, as long as it's that. And we went over all the things about, this neo-Nazi stuff and all that before I would even agree to having any part in it.
And so what had they told you about those neo-Nazi groups? Had they approached them, or had they had any communication from them about this rally?
Not at the beginning, they didn't. However, closer to the event, they did have contact from them. They had told them they obviously can't stop them from turning up, but they were not welcome to speak or take part in the actual rally itself.
But they didn't say to them, we don't want you there because you don't represent what we represent.
Oh, they had said to them they don't align with what we are doing. So, but what are they going to do? They can't have security drag them out. They can't, they were saying basically, we told them that, they're not welcome there. They're not part of us. We don't want to have the message they're pushing. But the same as I said, same as when on stage, I can't go telling these people, get it. I did tell them, get out of here. We didn't want them here, but I can't force them.
But were you surprised to see them there? I mean, obviously the organisers, given that there had been some communication, I expect you were expecting them to show up.
I expect people on both sides of the political spectrum to turn up, which are unfavourable people that aren't looking to contribute positively in society. We see people burning the Australian flags, just minorities. We see little groups of people, pockets on both sides of the spectrum, whether it be the Palestine rallies or on a Conservative rally that are fighting for Australia. You're going to have a small percentage of the population in every, parts of society which are negative. And so I expect, yes, that there would have been. I'm glad it was only 20 of them out of 15,000 maybe.
And would you describe that group of people that they did admit that they were Nazis, that's how they identified, would you describe them as racist?
Oh, yes, I'd describe them as racist. I called them out. I yelled out, we don't want your racist ideas. I was saying what you're saying, because they were, calling for, deportations and things like that. And, that's not what the rally was about. That's not what everyday Australians are about. Everyday Australians were there. You see, they were in mass numbers. People were shutting them down. People, if they, were yelling out stuff, they were going, get lost, racist. We don't want you here. We're not interested in what you have to say. So, it was, I think, yeah, they're happy to wear that mantle. They say they want people deported and stuff. So.
Rod Caddies is my guest this morning. He's the leader of the One Nation Party in the WA Parliament. He was speaking at that anti-immigration rally yesterday. And this group, there was only 20 of them, but they were pretty loud and they certainly were making the headlines last night. They were shouting, "Hail Australia." How did you feel hearing that and the use of that word hail?
Oh, I don't even like looking at them when they start saying deport. it's just divisive. They deliberately come there to be extreme. And when you say they got the media attention, yes, because they were a small group of 20 with a megaphone, and the media took their cameras right beside them and filmed them. But that was like, if you stand beside a little group of 20 with a megaphone, it's going to come across there. They were disruptive, but they weren't. They were 20 people in a crowd of 15,000. They were calling out things. But there's nothing you can do unless the police or someone's going to drag them out for that. Then, you've just got to do what Australians do: push through and soldier on. Like, you can't let them take away from what we were there for.
Tell us then about the legitimacy that you think there is in the views of those that were there. Just help us understand what is it? Is it fair to say it was an anti-immigration rally?
Not anti-immigration, anti-mass immigration, because we've got to make that clear that everyone I spoke to, everyone called out. I spoke to many people leading up to it, and there was people constantly flying up to me, talking to me when I wasn't on stage, saying, glad you're making it clear that this is about mass immigration, not about migrants. This isn't targeting migrants. This is about our government bringing in too many people. There's hospitals, there's waiting times, incredible waiting times. Our roads are full, our schools are full. The infrastructure and services in Australia aren't coping with our population. And it's not just about immigration. That is one big thing that has been the tipping point for Australians, but it's been the bad decisions over many decades of social housing, of all these different things where government, we have people living, you look in Bunbury where I've been going down to, well, all around WA, that the numbers are huge for our homeless people. Our government hasn't been making the contributions from the money that we pay in taxes to look after our people. And yet they keep flooding in more people under the guise of skilled migration. But we know the skills that are coming in, there's a very minority amount of them that are actually filling the skills we need comparative to having, they're letting in yoga teachers and cafe workers and stuff like that. And seriously, we can do without them with the housing problem we have at the moment.
So on that point then, Rod Caddies, if you want to reduce the migration levels, where do you make the cuts? Who misses out? Who comes in?
Oh, well, like I said, I asked questions in Parliament. I got a list of all these of the trades, trades as such, not trades, but people that are allowed into this country. And there's a list of, it's hundreds, and there's things we could do without. And, when you start to bring in, 450-odd thousand people in a year, and we only built, I think, 160,000 houses in the year, that 160,000 houses, I believe, is the number, that's to cater for all the people that are already needing housing, as well as housing 457,000 others.
Where are those figures from? What are you quoting? And you're talking Australia-wide?
Yes.
And where are you getting those figures from?
Well, that's what I'm not going to quote definite, but that's what I've read on economists and different things. There's arguments about numbers. There was a thing put out about 1,550 on the radio station on Ben Fordham. It might have been about 1,554 a day, and there's claims of all different numbers. But the truth is, there is still way more people than we can sustain with the housing we have.
Okay,
and we're not bringing in building trades. We're not. If the numbers of tradesmen that are coming into this country is very low, so we're not building the houses that are needed. It's just not happening to sustain the population that's here.
All right, I'll leave it there, Rod Caddies, and thank you for talking to me this morning. He's leader of the One Nation Party here at the WA Parliament. He did have some involvement when the organisers of this rally came to him, and they were aware that, they were expecting, I guess, these extremist this group of, Nazis, that's what they're calling themselves, to be there, but he's saying that was not representative of what the rally was about. He's making it clear. He's saying it was about mass immigration, not immigration. And it's funny that Rod mentions Ben Fordham and that figure of 457,000 people coming in a year. Ben Fordham from a commercial station in the eastern states, he did make some claims that if you watched Media Watch last week, you'll know that they were